Welcome to the Underline This podcast, the podcast where we unpack the big ideas hiding in the margins, because the best parts, they're between the lines. This is one of my favorite personal development books I've ever read. Let me start with a little teaser. We live in fear. Fear is inescapable, and for that reason, we have to learn to manage it. A life skill that's highly underrated is developing a fearless mindset. And to be clear, a fearless mindset isn't without fear. It's not a mind without fear. It's a mind that feels the fear, but learns to overcome it as a barrier. So how do we learn to overcome our fears? I've pulled guides and practices from Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. I mentioned before, this is one of my favorite personal development books I've read, and this is a classic. It helps you transform fear and doubt into confidence and action. But what makes this stand out is that it's not only inspirational, but it's a very practical book. So we talk about Susan Jeffers, the Batwoman. Now, nobody calls Susan Jeffers the Batwoman. That's me. That's my label I've given her. Her principles reminded me of one of my favorite films, and that is the Batman franchise. Why? Batman, before becoming the masked vigilante, loses everything. His parents are murdered, and he lives with a trauma from falling into a cave with bats. Christopher Nolan version is absolutely my favorite. And instead of living with the trauma of losing his parents and the bats and everything else that's going wrong in his life, he learns to embrace it and overcome that fear. And first, it starts with his fear of bats. Once he's overcome that fear, it's this momentum that he uses that expands into other facets of his life. And the same principle applies in the real world. And that's what Susan Jeffers teaches. So let's uncover the woman behind the mask. Susan earned her doctorate in psychology from Columbia University and began her career as executive director of the Floating Hospital in New York City. It was her passion for helping people overcome fear and self-doubt that led to her writing Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, which has sold millions of copies worldwide and been translated into over 30 languages. Why the incredible success, you might ask? It's because her core message is timeless. Fear is a natural part of life, and courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward with it. Jeffers encourages readers to replace "I can't handle it" with "I can handle anything that comes my way." And Susan Jeffers' influences with her global audiences, she's been able to influence them through lectures, media appearances, and personal development workshops. And her teachings have contributed significantly to how we think about confidence, decision-making, and emotional resilience. Now, whether you're a corporate leader or a plumber, she inspires everyone of her audience to take control of their lives. Now, on a sad note, she did pass away in 2012, but her ideas have left an inspirational legacy, reminding everyone to trust themselves, embrace uncertainty, and live boldly. Now for the guides. I'm going to unpack some of these. And again, I want to be clear, these aren't mine. These come from Susan Jeffers. I'm just sharing them because I found them extremely effective. Starting with, what are you afraid of? All fears boil down to the fear that we can't handle it. For example, not running that race because what if work gets in the way of training? What if that new opportunity is too stressful? What if I make a mistake? One of my favorite Stoic quotes says, "We suffer more in imagination than we do in reality." And that's a timeless principle that should be etched in stone. Now, to overcome fear, try this exercise. Write down your top 3 fears, and then for each ask, what would I do if this happened? And could I handle it? Once you've done that, you'll realize the power that you do have, and that will give you a new feeling of empowerment. Next, can't you make it go away? Everyone feels fear, even successful people. The difference is how we respond. And remember the Batman allegory above about him having to confront his fears head on? Now, I would assume that this guide that I'm going to share with you here in a moment is something that Batman probably does, but you just don't see it in the movie. And he probably does it every day. So try this. Next time you feel fear, say out loud, "This is just fear, and this is normal." Next, rate your fear on a scale of 1 to 10, then take one small action towards overcoming that fear. Next, from pain to power. Life can be seen through 2 lenses. The first is pain, which I like to liken to the victim mindset, or power, which is the choice mode. The victim mentality can only get you so far, and I'd like to liken it to being a beggar, begging and living off of the empathy of others rather than pulling yourself up and taking care of business. In the words of Daryl from The Office. That victim mentality is a cushy, soft Nerf life. Sitting on your biscuit, never having to risk it. Now, nobody wants to live a Nerf life. Practice shifting the dialogue from I can't to I can handle it. Now, here's the invitation. Replace I can't with I choose. For example, I can't quit my job to I choose not to quit my job right now. This restores that power of control in your life. Next, whether you want it or not, it's yours. In life, one way to take control is to take ownership or responsibility for your actions, for the good, the bad, and the ugly. We all have some degree of power. Now, here's how to take control. First, notice one area where you're blaming an external factor, and then ask, what can I do to improve this situation? Next, polarity of life. You can't have success without failure. Remember, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Now, I'll say that's Michael Jordan, but I know he's quoting someone else. You'll never know why you don't try. You won't appreciate the sunny days without having some rainy ones. Also known as, you can't know joy without a little sadness. How will we ever find true love without some rejection? Fear begins to fade away when we accept that we need contrast in our lives. So here you go. Reflect on a time when something bad led to something better. Keep a growth moments journal. Next, when others don't want you to grow. Haters are going to hate. When you start climbing, expect others to become judgmental or try to tear you down. Accept it and don't resist your growth. Identify someone who limits you, even subtly, and then practice saying, I understand you feel that way, but this is important to me. Next, how to make no-lose decisions. There are no failures if we're willing to learn from it. There's no wrong decisions, only different paths of learning. When I had done something wrong as a child, my mom would always call these moments learning moments. Now, here's how to reframe these moments into something of value. When deciding between two options, list the benefits of both instead of pros and cons. And remind yourself, whatever I choose, I can handle it. How whole is your whole life grid? One of the tricks in life is to build a balanced life. One of the benefits of doing this is that it honestly distracts you from fear in one area. For example, have you ever met someone who always stresses about one thing? Maybe it's work. Maybe it's a bad relationship. Chances are they could probably use a few more distractions in their life, such as a hobby or a good Netflix binge. Doing so will make sure fear in one area doesn't overwhelm you. So here's the invitation. Draw a 9-square grid like a tic-tac-toe board. Label each square with a life area. Score each 1 to 10 for satisfaction. And strengthen your lowest ones. Next, the yes man. Ever seen the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey? It's comical, but also interesting to see what comes from him saying yes to everything. New experiences, new relationships, and new wisdom. Saying yes opens us up to growth and opportunity, while fear closes us off. For 1 week, say yes to opportunities that scare you, small or big. Record what happens. You'll likely feel more alive and capable. For example, a little personal application here. Recently, I joined a running club. And when I first joined, I wanted to get to know people. I didn't just want to go because I wanted to run. I also wanted to meet some people that also took their health and physical fitness, especially running, seriously. I went up to the leader of the group and I volunteered to be a pacer. And ever since then, I've been a pacer that volunteers for the fastest group. Now, the first time I did that, I was nervous. I didn't know anyone. I also thought, oh boy, I'm probably gonna be slower than the typical pacer. But it actually was a good opportunity to show people that I'm confident. And guess what? I want to step up and I want to be a leader. So that was something that took me probably 2 or 3 times of leading for me to feel completely comfortable. But I did it. And I proved to myself that it's something I can do. It was a big confidence booster. Next, choosing love and trust. Fear is rooted in scarcity and mistrust. This contracts our self-esteem and expectations of the world. On the flip side, love and trust expand our world and vision for the life we deserve to be living. Each morning, repeat this affirmation. I am powerful and I can handle whatever comes my way. Or, I trust the process of life. Next, and the final one here, filling the inner void. Give to others. Contribution reduces fear, isolation, and makes our shared world a little better. The invitation here is each day do one small act of giving, time, encouragement, or help. Notice how fear shifts into gratitude and purpose. In conclusion, actually, I think I'll give some bonuses here. Now that we have the exercises and guides, it's up to us to do the reps. Creating a fearless mindset is like working towards a six-pack. It takes a lot of work, but through building habits and practice, we'll notice the fat melt away. However, that fat can come back. Once we've learned to manage fear, we need to keep putting in the reps to maintain it. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and give us a follow on Instagram, X, Threads, and YouTube for more gems that come from reading. Now, I will give you some bonuses here, just in conclusion, for those that want to stick around. But here's some of my favorite bonuses from the book that can be applied on a daily basis. First, here are some affirmations to reprogram fear. Say to yourself, I can handle it. Everything is happening perfectly, and I'm taking responsibility for my life. Again, it's all about taking ownership and seeing that you have power and you have agency. Next, visualization. I do this in the morning. I like to meditate, and when I'm doing so, I like to have different visualizations about my long-term goals, about how I want the day to go, how I want the week to be, and you can do something similar. Imagine yourself successfully facing a fearful situation. Feel the pride and relief as if it had already happened. A little bit of time travel there when you meditate. Next is action steps. Do one thing every day that scares you. Again, start small, and then keep a fear action result journal. Next, the power shift. Anytime you feel victimized, ask, how am I choosing to feel this way? Then choose a new perspective. So, last of all, the summary mindset shift. Remember the pain mindset or the victim mindset? That's where your mind says, oh, I can't handle it. It's not my fault. What if I fail? I hope it works out. But we want the power mindset, which is, I can handle it. I am responsible. I'll learn and grow. I'll make it work. That is my conclusion. I know I did things a little bit differently, but there's some great gems I have underlined here and put in my notes I wanted to share. So have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.